assassination and almost gets away with it. Here's sick reason why. The anti-Trump rhetoric seems to be at an all-time high. With the never-Trump people as well as progressives who never cease to criticize him and try to diminish his accomplishments. While people castigate Trump supporters, they praise Obama supporters. Which should not be surprising considering the current environment. However, this latest news will prove once again there's a double standard when it comes to Trump versus Obama hatred. It was recently reported that a 32-year-old prison convict as well as Muslim worshipper from a town in Massachusetts has been formally charged and now convicted by a jury of his peers for threatening to kill President Obama. This was confirmed by local prosecutors who worked on the case. The man's name is Alex Hernandez and he was convicted this past Wednesday by a federal court. His total sentence is 37 months in prison, which amounts to about 3 years. But that does not include an early release for good behavior, which often does occur. However, it is a concurrent sentence with a 5 to 8 year conviction for an unrelated drug and firearms offense he was arrested and charged with. Back in May he declared he was guilty before the court and pleaded to one count of warning to kill and threatening to cause bodily harm to the President of the United States. Back in 2015, federal agents with the Federal Bureau of Investigation indicated that he had wanted to kill the president and in fact received fraudulent travel documents so that he could attempt to leave the country illegally after murdering the president. The case was built on the testimony of an individual who reported that the defendant had told him while in jail that he planned to attack the White House and was even thinking of creating bombs to create what he called chaos around government buildings and complexes. Prosecutors indicated that Hernandez targeted the president because he's the one that gives the orders. Prosecuting attorneys also noted that Hernandez had discussed with others how he felt that terrorists in the Middle East were his brothers and he referenced them as the Caliphate. Furthermore, Hernandez had targeted the United States administration by saying they were simply painting terrorists in a bad light. It is clear that this individual had both a hatred of our president, our country, and our democratic ideals. It was not just an attempted attack against President Obama but an attempted attack against American principles. President Trump has taken a firm stance in front of the media and behind closed doors that our fight against radical Islamic terrorism is one of the hardest yet most important ones our generation will need to fight. In Poland, the president recently said the following concerning extremism. We must stand united against these shared enemies to strip them of their territory, their funding, their networks, and any form of ideological support. While we will always welcome new citizens who share our values and love our people, our borders will always be closed to terrorism and extremism. We cannot accept those who reject our values, and who use hatred to justify violence against the innocent. The Polish experience reminds us the defense of the West ultimately rests not only on means but on the will of its people to prevail and be successful and get what you have to have. The fundamental question of our time is whether the West has the will to survive. Do we have the confidence in our values to defend them at any cost? Do we have enough respect for our citizens to protect our borders? Do we have the desire and the courage to preserve our civilization in the face of those who would subvert and destroy it? Just as Poland could not be broken, I declare today for the world to hear that the West will never ever be broken. Our values will prevail. Our people will thrive. President Trump is our leader. And the one who is doing the most to ensure our safety from violent extremism. Yet anti-Obama terrorists and activists are routinely charged with crimes while never-Trumpers are celebrated. Even when they threaten to kill the president, even when people like Kathy Griffin share fake decapitated heads of the president to a national audience. People laugh, they joke, they think it is funny. Under no circumstance is this man's actions acceptable. This animal clearly had criminal intentions and should remain behind bars. But where is outrage over people who threaten President Trump? Where is the outrage for people like Madonna who threaten to blow up the White House? Perhaps what we are dealing with is a selective form of outrage. Selective outrage is nothing more than phony outrage. If you are against violence for some, you must be against violence and threats for all. Otherwise, your argument is shallow and weak. Thank you for watching. What do you think about this?